Okay.
All right.
Why am I nervous?
Of course, I
I'm
joke right
remembering
then.
character cough.
Real.
And scene. Let's go.
All right. So this is before Havoc comes.
Yes,
So this is the night before.
sure.
So you can just forget you don't know like all this stuff about Havoc. She's still, a bit of a mystery. You don't know.
I don't know much about her, and we don't have the necklaces.
Yes, correct.
But we have returned to the settlement, and Lucius has explained to Esmond his opinion on the situation. Like, we've been
Yes.
through that bit. Okay,
Yes.
sure.
Luchas had gone away for a bit to speak with Erland, but
But yeah, which I didn't hear, but Tori was there.
yes. But
Sure.
eventually, if Nemesis is lingering around, waiting for an opportunity, Erland peels off with Tori, presumably to have their own talk. Uh,
Yeah.
and you see Luchas kind of like linger and circle back to the fire and go like sit down next to it, with like
Great.
hunched shoulders.
Yeah. Okay. Um, do we have any alcohol in this place? This place being a settlement.
Yes, you guys had picked some up from Undertake when you
Sure.
were
I'm gonna
in Hildegrand.
gonna grab like two small glasses, one for me, one for him.
Mm-hmm.
It's like an icebreaker. Um, I guess I'll walk over. He's by himself at the fire, right?
Yeah.
Great. I'll walk over to him at the fire and like hand him his drink, kind of like kind of wordlessly, kind of awkward, I guess. So yeah, I hand him his drink and say, uh, "Are we still friends?"
He looks a bit surprised to see you handing him a drink, but he takes it quietly, and takes a small sip as you speak and kind of thinks for a moment. Yeah, of course we're still friends. At least from my perspective, we're still friends. Do you think we're still friends?
I was hoping that we were.
Good. In my opinion, it would take a lot more to break a friendship than that.
I'll just nod, like I guess awkwardly. I guess his demeanor is kind of awkward because he doesn't really ever do this sort of thing. Um, uh,
Emotional vulnerability.
how do I do this? Um, yeah, it wasn't personal.
Yeah, it wasn't personal.
Okay. He's like Nemesis, like, yes, a win. We agree. Yeah, no, you guys had your uh weapons drawn, so to speak. I thought I should level the playing field.
Yeah,
Um,
I didn't mind that, to be clear. Like that's a non-issue to me. My
oh,
issue was how you acted afterwards and how you behaved.
I think that I'm gonna be honest. Um, this is not something I frequently choose to vocalize, but you upset me when you said the thing about childhood best friends. You upset me.
How so?
You know, yeah.
Here,
I know
let.
you weren't talking about.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. Um, I know you weren't talking about yourself because we're not childhood best friends, which means you were talking about him. and I think about him enough and don't really appreciate the reminder.
I wasn't trying to remind you specifically of him. I know that he's really the only one you've had that sort of bond with, but I was referring more to the type of bond itself rather than him as a person. If that makes sense, you know? To be clear, I wasn't. I was trying to reference that I thought you would understand the type of loyalty you have to someone who has been by your side that long, through thick or thin. I wasn't trying to poke at old wounds. I was simply trying to say, you of all. When he was here, you did anything for him, right? From what I've been told, you guys were never more than a few steps from each other. You did
Of course.
everything together. You two would have done literally anything in a heartbeat for each other. I wasn't trying to reference him specifically. I was just trying to reference that kind of loyalty, and that I thought you would understand that.
I understand. I just think felt like that's what you were doing, even if it wasn't.
If I was trying to
So
be
I'm just
nasty about him, I would say plenty of other things, but I would never do that. But trust me,
like
you'd
what?
you'd know if I was trying to dig in about him.
Hmm.
No offense to you, Nemesis, but when it comes to him, you're a bit of an open book, and you're a bit easy. He like gives you like a light-hearted shoulder nudge to try and show he's trying to be friendly and
Yeah.
friend tease.
I'll just I'll nudge him back like with equal force, I suppose. Um, or whatever. I that can that doesn't need to be something that anyone else knows about.
Yeah, that's why I didn't say his name. One, because it wasn't about him, so there was no need to get that specific. But also because it's not their business. But is it is it really that bad that apparently they know you had a friend as a kid?
It's not that. I think they know I'm capable of making friends, considering you're here.
I'm difficult to get rid
Um,
of.
no, it would have been easy to get rid of you because Esmond asked if I wanted to do that, and
I figured.
mm, I wanted you to stay. Um, but I was gonna ask about, if I may, um, just something about Havoc, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
And this is not me asking about her, I guess this is just me getting to know your story better. Um, I didn't realize you guys knew each other for so long. The story there,
Um, it's not a terribly complicated story.
right?
A lot has happened, but it's fairly easy to, simplify.
Hmm.
Thank you, Chimchar. He's licking
Huh.
me.
Let's go.
Yeah. Um, I one of my earliest memories is being taken by the Iron Conscription. I don't really remember what my life was like before that. I know some vague facts, but just things I've been told or found out. Nothing that comes from my own memory. Um, and there was a lot of us, of all different ages. Um, but Havoc was one of the oldest in the group. Not by much, um, but enough that to a group of scared kids, it made a difference. And she tried to take care of a lot of us, and others did too, but others died or left or changed their loyalties. And slowly, the people around me that I had knew since I was a kid dwindled, either because they died or disappeared or whatever. But Havoc was still there. So was Fierce. Spectre came later, but was there for a long time. So was Bulwark.
Mm.
There, our first escape attempt, um, was because of me. Uh,
Right.
some stuff happened that I don't really want to get into, but Fierce and Havoc tried to step in to stop it. They did successfully, and we had an opportunity, and the three of us ran. Havoc was worried about me not being able to keep up with the two of them since they were so fast, and she knew that I had an alternative mode of transportation. So she kept pushing and pushing until I flew away. I eventually got caught again because I had never been on my own out in the world, so I wasn't exactly, street smart or anything like that. It was months before Havoc and Fierce were caught again, and when they came back, they were different. But they took care of all of us even more fiercer than before, and we took care of them. And when we eventually did escape, the current quote unquote escape attempt that we're on, Havoc made sure to take us all with her. Those were her terms, that we came with her.
Erland as well.
No, Erland came much later.
Mm.
Uh, I escaped from this, I guess you could call the second attempt, the one I'm on now. uh, Started when I was 13. Um,
Right.
yeah, Havoc was 15. Fierce was also 15. Variants of ages. We didn't meet Erland until I want to say 4 years ago. And by then, I was slowing down the amount of work I did with Havoc. Mostly because a lot of it was on a more technical side, and it was a lot of traveling, and I wanted some form of peace and
Mm.
quiet, at least for a bit. So, when Havoc wanted to try and make a alliance of sorts with the clan, I was happy to stay there and broker it, and help out as a sign of good faith from Havoc.
So it was Havoc's idea to work with the clan.
Um, it was more the clan's idea,
Right.
but Havoc was alright with going along with it.
I mean, what was the deal there?
Um, He's quiet for like a long time. Uh,
Hmm.
and seems to be debating something very strongly. Uh, but eventually settles with saying, "It's not really my business. Um, and I'm pretty sure that Setsi would have my head if I talked to anyone about it. This isn't a you thing. This isn't anyone thing. I wasn't even allowed to mention it to Yasal or any of the older members or anything."
Right. So yours recruiting you was entirely unrelated to Habit's business.
Say again?
Oh, yours recruiting you was entirely unrelated to Habit's business.
Recruiting me to what?
Um, I don't know the term. Maybe it's babysit, damage control.
No. It's if you were listening in on the conversation, I think you're implying it was well, it's not babysitting. It's in that same vein of, oh, you're going out with my sibling, so you make sure my sibling stays safe. You know, it's not keeping you
What?
on a leash or treating you like a baby. It's just keeping an eye out for you, which I would have done anyways. It's just, a sort of shovel talk.
So you keep an eye on me out of the good of your heart, and yours looks after your friend from the good of his heart, right? Their heart, right?
Um, let's just say, Aishu doesn't really like that friend of mine
Wait, who?
being a
Say again.
Aishu, the eldest
Who is
daughter.
that? Oh, yes. I forget names. Carry
No, no,
on.
no, you're good, you're good. I literally have the list of the family open right now, so.
I know most of them, but that one I was like, what? Sorry,
uh,
carry on, carry on.
uh, she didn't like that person being about in town while I wasn't there to make sure things went smoothly. So
Why?
Luchas goes like quiet for an even longer amount of time and like looks very clearly on edge.
Sure. You don't have to say that in the name. I heard you say it.
It's it's not the name, it's more, I know it's a bit stupid in all honesty, but it just kind of feels like if I say something out loud, it makes it more real and makes it more dangerous, you know?
Well, how
Um,
about you say something out loud that hurts and do the same? Like together.
it's not about it hurting. It's about,
Mm.
let's just say, you go, if you want, you can try and roll an insight check to get like what Luchas is
Sure.
so nervous about.
This matters more than anything in my whole life. My insight is +2. Okay, let me roll. 7. That's kind of an L.
Ooh. Um, I
Take the
mean,
advantage because he's my bestie.
yeah, sure, you know him well enough.
Let's go.
You know his
Okay.
body language.
Yes, yes,
Body
because I'm
language.
yes. 18.
He's so hype. Uh, um, it's almost like Luchas is looking around as if to check for people listening in. And
Oh,
it's
right.
it's not like he's focusing in on like, you know, the people you're more familiar with, the settlers or your companions or anyone like that. He's lingering on the shadows, looking into the darkness, like watching the sky, looking for anything out of place. Uh,
In an attempt to be reassuring, um, and Nemesis is gonna like fucking pull out his knives and be like, "Hey, if they're listening, they're dead." As like a joke, he's like, "This is like light-hearted mood I'm
yeah,
creating."
he he gives like a soft laugh at that. Um, let's just say, um, Nigel is connected to me in the same way that Valoran would be connected to Esmond. If that's vague but makes sense enough to you.
So like brothers
Okay,
in in
I'm.
all ways except biology.
No, I was trying not to say out loud that he was my brother. Because nobody knows that.
Who's listening? It's just me. You have a
You,
brother? Hold on.
there's something you have to understand, Nemesis. Not all of the Faceless follow Havoc. Some of them stayed with the conscription, and some of them do their own thing.
So he's a faceless.
And
They're a faceless.
no, no, keep listening. The ones
Mm.
that don't follow Havoc don't like her, don't like us. They don't like that we've gone off and done our own thing.
Right.
They've tried to, poach me or Spectre or Bulwark, convince us to switch sides or something like that because not to sound boastful, but we're good at what we do. We're good fighters. We're good at what we did before.
Of
Um,
course.
and there's also just the fact that Havoc has so many people behind her that it kind of makes her untouchable, at least from their perspective.
Hmm.
So Mitchell is not only a point of weakness for me, but is also someone who has very similar attributes to me and could be useful in that sense. And it has happened in the past that those faceless have specifically hunted down their own young family members to put into those pits in hopes that they will come out like they did.
So is my family protecting Mitchell from the faceless or protecting?
I was protecting Mitchell. That's why I wanted peace and quiet and not moving around, because I had found Mitchell. We had gotten him out, and we were hiding him.
Right.
But let's just say, what's essentially rogue, faceless bait sitting around in town is not something Ishu wants to have when, the protector of said bait isn't there. She thinks that it'll bring trouble to the clan, and that they'll be attacked.
Yeah, it's happened before. Should be fine.
This is
No, I mean they're capable of looking after him, I'm sure.
not if they don't want to.
Well, I mean, you made the deal with Yoz, right? And you trust them.
Yes, but Yaz isn't the head of the family. Yaz
Sure.
doesn't make all the
Mm,
decisions, and Yaz isn't in town anymore.
so, so they're not really upholding their end of the deal
I
currently.
I don't know. They very well could be. I didn't really have a
Mm,
private moment to speak with them.
mm. Well, they're working with Yoz is working with Havoc now, so I guess it's a lucky link going on there.
Yeah,
Seems like everyone's working with Havoc, actually.
Havoc likes to have a network, a web almost of people who are connected to her and to each other in all sorts of ways. Makes it
Right,
easy when you need something to reach out to someone who can reach out to somebody else to find what you need.
right. And I guess she doesn't have to like me since she already has Yoz to deliver messages to the clan, right? That's like a joke. He says this as like a joke.
Yeah, I don't think she would need Yasol to deliver messages, anyways. She's kind of been
Mm.
in talks, with Satsi himself before, so.
Oh yeah, I forgot. Um, why does it feel like I'm the only one who doesn't know what the fuck is going ever?
What do you mean?
Just like everyone knows everyone, and everyone is all fucking jacked up about this Acerite, which I've never fucking heard of, and everyone's working with people who I thought they would never work with, and everyone's here for some fucking glorious purpose, and I'm here because I don't know.
I mean, I think everyone. I'm not a big believer in, like, fate and shit like that. Um, but
And neither am I.
if I were, I'd say it's a bit fateful. You know,
For what?
I mean, for these last few days, Alice never interacted with Havoc or the others, but was interacting with Acerite on her own, right?
Sure.
And everyone seems to have these interconnected pieces that are tying them either to each other or to somebody else that then ties them to somebody else. And it feels very strange.
I think maybe that I feel that less than everyone else.
Well, hey, maybe if Havoc had had her way a couple years ago, that would have been different.
What do you mean?
You remember seeing Havoc before, right? At least her mask.
Yeah, I've seen the mask.
When we were originally in talks with the clan about a
Hmm.
sort of alliance, the original idea was not for Havoc to just give one of her people to the clan. Um, it was to trade.
Right.
And Setsi thought that with the way you were feeling at the time, for lack of a better word, bloodlust, and drive for violence, had thought that maybe you would enjoy some time with Havoc. Eventually, that idea was scrapped.
Why?
Since uh,
I mean, in an ideal world, it's because my family wouldn't want to trade me off like some fucking commodity, but I'm sure
it
it's a
wouldn't have
different
been
reason.
it wouldn't have been a trade. They would have asked if you were interested in it.
You know, they don't really do asking, they more do telling.
I mean, they asked me if I was interested, and
Hmm.
then they tossed around some different ideas and said that they would ask people. Um, but then uh, Ta thought it was a bad idea. I wasn't privy to the conversation. Um,
You have to remind me who that is.
Also in the list of the family.
Okay, I thought so, bro. My memory is so bad.
No, no, you're fine. It's a lot of names. I absolutely feel free to have it, open if you need it or whatnot.
Yeah, I need to open the list, bro. Okay,
It's pinned on our messages if you need.
oh, it is. I can also just look up Cetese. We've been pronouncing that differently.
It's Satsi because the T is before the E.
Cetese.
Yeah,
All right, cool. I just can't read.
you're good.
Yeah. Okay, wait. So Todd thought it was a bad idea.
Yeah, I wasn't privy to the whole conversation. Um, but whatever he mentioned, uh, had Satsi thinking that you should stay close to the clan for a while and not leave. So thus, even the option wasn't brought up to you.
Right.
And we got to meet and become friends, so worked out.
Yeah. Um, how do I put this? If do you like me as a person?
Well, I chose to come with you here, so yes, I do like you as a person.
Mm, okay. The okay is like, yeah, like mutual. It's not like, oh, okay. It's just like, sure. I had something else that I wanted to bring up, but I don't remember what it was. How much do you? Okay, so you were, for lack of a better phrase, brought in to this deal where it's like you make sure I don't go crazy and die or
it's
something.
it's not even a formal deal. It's more that just you look out for my sibling and I'll look out for yours. It's not that deal is such a strong word.
I more mean when you were first introduced to me by yours, um, like before we left for all of this crap. Um, what was my point? Okay, whatever. We're talking. How much for you to, so you know that. Let me start again. Let me start again. How much do you know about my situation? This seems like a strong word, but
Uh,
you know,
Honestly, not a ton. I know you grew up in Sorum in the town that the clan works in. Um, I know that for whatever reason you became super close with Atsu, and uh, eventually that somehow led to you being part of the family. And then, things unfolded. Uh, and now you're considered a son of Zota. Uh, I know Setsi is still torn between you and your soul. Um,
In terms of
he kind of looks at you for a moment. What do you mean?
torn between us in what sense?
I mean, you two would be the only of appropriate age to get trained to be the heir, so.
You're right. I'm not. I how do I put this?
You know that's part of why Setsi didn't want to send you away, right? On one hand, it would have
Well,
been good for you to have experience with other groups, especially if you were coming in as the next patriarch. But also, that invites danger if you're away from the clan.
this is actually kind of news to me.
You you didn't know?
I think that I was under the impression that I was considered family in the in-law kind of way rather than the son kind of way
You could
for
be
no particular
both.
right.
And also, even if you were, say, formally an in-law, when
I wasn't.
when what happened with Atsu happened, you still would have been considered. Yeah, but if we're talking informal in-law, they consider you family enough that, at least according to what Setzi was telling us, that you were considered a prospective heir.
Well, I suppose that's rather interesting news for me. Um,
Sorry for the shocking news. I thought you knew.
well, I just never really considered it, and also Cersei doesn't exactly wear his heart on his sleeve, so I didn't know. Okay, you knew, and I didn't. Welcome to my life, I suppose, where everyone else knows shit before I do. Whatever, it's gonna be yours. It's gonna be yours.
I mean, does Yaz even want to be heir? Yaz
Do
seems
I?
no Yaz does like Yaz
No, I'm
seems
just
pretty attached to the
asking
magic thing.
the magic thing. Yeah, I just meant like, I don't know if I am super keen either, but I guess I only just learned about it, so maybe it needs time to grow on me.
I mean, of course, you wouldn't be. I doubt you'd be forced to just take up leadership because that's just a path to a shitty leader. But I mean, if you look at it from an outside perspective, it makes sense that you'd be considered. You have more experience with the business side of things than Yasol does. You have more
I
experience on the
guess.
field. You know how things run. You are more akin to what the clan is used to being like. I think if Yasol were to step up, the clan would change significantly, which wouldn't be bad, but
Uh, okay, no, this is like, firstly, just like bruh. Secondly, just formally, bruh. Secondly, he's like in a joking manner now, like to Lucius. Do you think I'd be a good leader? And he's like staring at him like, when friends like joking with each other. But do you? Do you?
Luchas, like, smiles at you joking around, but seems to consider, like, a serious response. If I was somehow in charge of choosing who would be the next leader, which obviously wouldn't happen at all.
Right.
and I knew that both of you were truly interested in being leader, I would
Yeah.
say either a joint leadership or Yazul as your second in command. I think you
Ooh.
both would bring very good things to the table. And I think
Who
you
you choose
two
me?
could balance each
Hmm.
other out. I think you'd be a better face as a leader of a
Oh, you're
criminal
so
organization,
into
yes.
me.
Shut up. You're more intimidating.
Uh-huh.
hmm You don't.
Thank you. And he like twirls his head, like jokingly.
Okay. He gives you a little shove and then knocks back the rest of his drink. Okay.
So, so what do we do now?
I don't know. Enjoy your little vacation from the clan for a little bit longer. Figure out what to do
Yeah.
about tomorrow.
What's tomorrow?
I mean, Havoc said she was coming.
Oh yeah, and I just can't wait to be in her presence again.
She, she's
She's so
not that
fun.
bad. She's not that bad.
I
You
love
don't
you.
trust my opinion of people? I don't think you're that bad.
No, no, no. I
Huh? I consider you and Havoc to be on equal levels of asshole. So,
we can fight if you want to fight.
well, I'd win, so, you know.
Yeah, would you? Is that why you told Esmond that you would be pin me down and stop me from fighting everyone? Because I'm just such a good match for you.
Where
You can say it. You can say I'm as strong as you, or something like that.
it wouldn't even be a contest of strength. Mer, I would just have to grab you by the collar,
But
fly 20 feet into the air, and drop you. And it's a win.
I'd love to see you do that. Why don't we do that right now?
Alright. If you want
Take
me
me
to
into your
take you
arms.
for a
Take
moonlight
me
flight, you could just
into my.
ask nicely.
I can walk nicely. I can walk really freaking nicely.
Okay. You're flirting so
No,
much,
yeah.
I think you almost forgot that. What's his name? The pretty boy you keep flirting with?
Uh, which one? I'm kidding. No one.
Uh
What are you
huh.
implying?
So the hate flirting I've been seeing definitely isn't happening, right?
With who? With who?
With who? With who? Gee, I
Yeah, with who?
wonder. Talk
Say
about
it.
obsessed with
Who?
snakes, huh?
Yeah. Well, he does look exactly like him.
Does he? I never saw Atsu, so.
Yeah, it's kind of uncanny, and I try not to think about it. I wink at out of character at the DM.
So you do have a type.
No, because you don't look anything like him.
I'm like, yes, there's the looks aspect, but from what I've heard about Atsu, we're talking pretty boy, sassy,
Of course. Mm,
quick on the feet,
I
doesn't
suppose.
let you get away with shit. I don't know. I just, from what little I know, I see similarities.
I don't flirt with quail.
Sounds like it.
Fuck you.
Hey, I'm not saying you have to marry him. I'm just saying if you want to fuck him, then fuck him.
Okay, he's just staring deep into Luchas' soul, like you just fucking said that. He's like looking around to make sure no one's listening. Fuck him.
If you're that nervous, I can show you how to do it. I bet you I could get it first, anyways.
As is. What makes you what makes you think that?
Well, one, I'm not in denial. Two, I can be charming when I want to be.
Denial looks good on me.
Well, I mean, if you don't believe me, you could always prove me wrong by hooking up with him first.
You're not doing that.
Doing what?
Fucking Cleo. Hello?
What, you don't think I could?
I just don't really want you to.
Oh, jealous.
If I say yes, I'm never gonna hear the end of it.
Well, see, if you say yes, then it's a question of who are you jealous of? Drama.
We are not. This is not a thing. We're not
Hmm?
talking
Still
about
think.
this.
Okay.
Also, don't speak to him because I will kill you.
Promise.
Yeah, I promise.
Yo. Alright. I'll leave you be. Go sleep with your new buddy. Forgotten about me so quickly.
Listen, we can still go on that moonlight vibe, whatever you want.
I'd hate to make someone jealous.
We were talking about something else before this.
Yeah, we got
um,
distracted by talking about how you're some heir of a powerful criminal group. Exciting.
yeah, no, for sure. Um, well, I'm. All of that is to say that we are fine then.
I'm fine with you. And if you're fine with me, then great.
Yeah, and okay, Nemesis is gonna like. You see that he's really, really deeply considering. You know when you like open your mouth and breathe in to speak and you like close it again?
Mm.
He's gonna do that a few times. And he's like, I am sorry for being like that
I'm sorry.
yesterday.
I'm sorry too. Even if it wasn't my intention, I still made you upset and made you think that I was saying things about Atsu that I wasn't. And for that, I'm sorry.
Ooh.
Nemesis, he kind of, like has his elbows on his knees and is kind of like leant forward looking at the fire.
Yeah.
I not to be softy, but I care about you a lot. You're a very good friend, and I enjoy spending time with you and being with you. I need you to understand, though, that while I'm not gonna drop and leave you at Havoc's beck and call, I also can't, hold up a weapon against her, Against any of them. They're my friends, practically my family.
I know. I,
But that's
as
not.
much as,
Go ahead.
oh, oh, no, you go.
That's not. But that's not a statement on how much you matter to me. Alright? For me, it's not a question of. I can't choose you or them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I, we obviously understand each other and all the shit that informs whatever we do. I get angry easily, but I don't want to feel angry at you. So if I can propose something, um, I don't want to make it feel like you have to choose between, me and them or whatever it is.
Mm.
I just think it would be better if we don't interact with Havoc as a group. Because I hate her. She's your friend, and I don't want there to be a rift there where you feel like you have to choose.
I don't get why you hate her. Um, sure.
Yeah, because I don't want to put you in a awkward situation or anything because I care about you.
Right. Well, he kind of stands up. Um, and you had been like on one side of him this whole time. So when he brushes off, like his pants of a little bit of campfire ash, you can see he
Yeah.
is holding a fold of paper in the hand opposite to you. Um,
Oh,
but he tucks it into his coat and says, "I'm gonna go out for just a little flight, enjoy the night air. Um, have a good night. I'll talk to you in the morning."
wait, bruh. Can I not ask about what the paper is?
You can.
Oh, okay. What is you been holding that the whole time, or that it's materialized right now?
Are you asking him or are you asking me?
I'm asking him.
Oh, I got it before you came over.
Oh, what is it?
A letter.
Written by you or to you?
To me. What?
Ooh, who's it from?
What? It doesn't
My
matter.
guess. Can I
You can
guess?
you can guess if you want. Doesn't mean I'm gonna tell you if you're
It's
right.
a love letter from yours.
No.
It's a letter from yours.
No.
Okay, who's it from?
I'm not gonna tell you.
No.
Have a good night, Nemesis.
Bro. He's like lighthearted, right? He's not like pissed.
Roll insight.
Sorry. It was going so well. Insight +2. Um. Oh, my best fell off my bed. One second now. We roll again. Oh, 20. Not natural.
20. Um,
Yeah, 18 +2.
he he still seems mildly upset about something, but he seems
Right.
more what's the word I want? Like resolved to it. Not resolved. I can't think of the word I want.
But he's not
Um,
mad at Nemesis.
no. He does not seem mad.
Okay. I'm gonna okay. Hey, if I promise not to pickpocket you, we can like hug or something. I don't know.
You even mentioning pickpocketing me already makes me suspicious.
Well, maybe I just want to hug my friend.
Okay. He reaches back into his coat, pulls out the letter, looks you in the eye, and puts it into the front of his pants.
You know, I was just gonna be like, no, it's just he's kind of cute.
What would you say? You were far from your mic.
Oh. I said initially I was just like Nemesis wants to hug him but doesn't want to ask him because that's like awkward. But that's like really funny. Whatever. He hugs him with no attempt to take the effort.
All right. He gives you a good hug back. He is. I'm pretty sure I said. I think I said he was taller than you. So it's like a very firm hug with the wings.
That's good. What can I roll to see if I cry or not?
Make a charisma saving throw.
Charisma? It's just a funny bit. I just like my stupid guys to be emotional. That's a solid 6, baby.
There's some tears. It's up to you how much Nemesis fights to hide them, but there's definitely tears.
That's so funny. In his head, he's just like, I'm so glad this is resolved because I really, love Luchas as my friend. And it's like, he was super worried about the conversation going badly. Um, so I guess that's just that.
Hell yeah, I'm glad for them.
Let's go. I think that's it. With Luchas.
Hell
Oh
yeah.
my. Actually, yeah, no, that is it. I forgot about the timeline. That's it.
Hell yeah.